Hi, I'm Ghost from ghostmusic.com, and you're listening to The Dev Room. But first, let's hear from our sponsors.
Today's episode is sponsored by ghostmusicom, the only place for developers to learn how to create their own video games, be better developers, as well as have a greater understanding and dialogue about being a better developer.
Welcome to the first episode of the Dev Room podcast. I am your host, Ghost from ghostmusic.com, and today we are going to be talking about recruiters. So, as a developer freelance developer over the last 4 years, I've dealt with a series or number of recruiters, and most have been positive, some has been negative, and today I just want to dive deep into there, have a conversation with you guys, and have you guys interact, and just go forth that way. All right, so let's talk about the positives first, and then we'll dive into the negatives right after that. So, one of the benefits of working with recruiters, there's not many, but one of the benefits is that they can get you to places that normally wouldn't look for you. Like, I had one that had me do an interview with Amazon. Didn't get the job, but a lot better way of getting to Amazon rather than applying and getting rejected. Second is just the amount of jobs that get sent my way. Most don't even have or pertain to my skill set or my field or anything like that, but it's just it basically gauges what jobs are out there, what jobs you should be looking for, and what skill sets they're looking for so you can adapt, apply to them, and conquer. Okay, so now let's dive into the negatives. This is a whole laundry list, but I'm going to keep it brief so we don't go overboard. So, one of the gigantic negatives is the sheer amount of job postings and emails, spammy emails that I get on a daily basis from these guys. It could be from jobs that have nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with my skill set, my abilities, or even any language that I generally work on. And it's frustrating. You can deal with a recruiter, you can talk to them, you can be like, hey, this is my skill set, this is where I lie, this is the level of just skills that I do have. And they'll pull something majority out of their ass and hand it back to you and like, hey, think this will fit you. And you're like, bro, I don't even have any of these skill sets. Like, I told you I'm an Angular developer. What are you doing sending me Python? I don't know Python. It's crazy. It's crazy if you really think about it. Some of them, there's one recruiting company out there that I dealt with them one time, and over the last 4 years, I've gotten over, I would say, 50,000 emails. They'll send emails every single day about the same jobs over and over and over and over again, and none of them have anything to do with any of the abilities that I have, or skill sets, or languages, or anything. It Majority of the time, it just gets way too much, way too overbearing, and you're just like, hey, cut it out, bro. Just fucking cut it out. Don't send me none of this. Don't think that we're actually going to have a conversation here if you're going to send me the same nonsense day in, day out. Like, if I came to you and I sent you billions of emails about the same thing that didn't pertain to anything that you have or anything that you are even interested in, you're probably not going to have a conversation with me. And this goes both ways. Don't, if you are a recruiter out there, please don't be spammy. I can assure you that us developers and us tech majors, so computer science geeks, whatever you want to call us, we're not we're not into it. Like, maybe if you send an email and like, hey, uh, like, this may not be what you're interested in, but can we have a conversation and see something there? Be polite, be authentic, be generous. Just try to get in tune to what that person is into and what abilities they do have, so you can actually get them to conversate with you. Um, but I'm gonna go into an example of one of the worst experiences I've had. Maybe two stories of recruiters that I've dealt with that it's just too much. The first one was most recently I was dealing with a recruiter. Um, they were like, "Hey, I see that you work with these languages. I have this one company that they're looking for you, or they're looking for somebody with your abilities. And just to give you a heads up, it's the Microsoft stack, so C Sharp, .NET. They're like, hey, looking for somebody with that. They need someone with experience on RESTful APIs. I'm like, cool. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Um, they set up the interview next day. Have the interview with them. Everything goes smooth. I talk to I talk to the recruiter. I'm like, okay. They're giving me a positive review. Everything's going good. And he basically ghosted me. He fucking ghosted me. And I'm sitting here like, hey, I'm calling everyone. I'm calling them every single day. I'm like, hey, there's like a day before the actual contract starts. Hey man, can I get some information? Nothing. I call, um, I call his cell phone. I call his job. Nothing. Emails. Nothing. And I'm sitting here like, man, you told me everything was going good. You told me that I was a definite shoo-in. You told me all this, and you ghosted me. So I wait to the day of, oh no, the day before the contract starts, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna call the guy I did the interview with. So I call him, and I'm like, hopefully I got this, but I don't know. Dude didn't answer, so I text him. I'm like, hey, sorry to bother, but want to know if I got it. That guy didn't respond either. Later on, found out didn't get it, but the dude messages me back like a week, maybe 2 weeks later. And he's like, hey, uh, sorry about that. Just got some feedback. Never gave me the feedback though. Never gave me the feedback. And was like, maybe we can find something else. And I'm just going to assume the worst on that one because like it's already 2 weeks into the contract. Like they're probably not going to pick me up. But it's perfectly fine. There's another one I was dealing with maybe a couple years ago when I was like 2 years into freelancing doing software engineering, and this person goes, "Hey, I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna send you to this place to interview." I was like, "Okay, cool. Tell me a little bit more about it." This person was like, "So it is a JavaScript and node base application that they're working on," and so she goes into the whole she goes into the whole spiel. She starts telling me about it, and I'm like, cool, this sounds cool. I come up, I get into the interview. One, it had nothing to do with any of the coding languages, none. They were looking for a senior, not a mid level, and I'm like, what the like. So in the middle of the interview, he goes, are you even senior? And I go, no, I'm more of a mid level. I've had experience with X, Y, and Z, but all the stuff that you are listening, I have somewhat experience. Um, I've done it maybe once or twice. And again, when you go into the interview, you want to be as positive as possible, but you also want to be as honest as possible. And the reason for this is because if you get the job and you finally get there and you don't know nothing, it's just going to hurt your abilities to get recommendations or even to keep the job. I I have seen a couple people like this. But you know, uh, it's just crazy. In the middle of the interview, he was like, "Okay, well, since you don't even have this experience, I don't think there's anything more that we need to discuss." And I was like, oh." I'm like, "But I have the other skills." He's like, "No, we're definitely looking for this, and if you don't have this, we're not even gonna continue the interview." And I'm like, "Okay." So he basically says if I have any questions. Didn't have any because I was already pulled back in shock. And he was like, "Okay, so we're done here." And the recruiter calls me back and goes, "How did it go?" And I was like, he ended the interview because I didn't have this one skill. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I kind of figured he was going to say that." And I'm just like, "What?" So why would you have me interview with this person and look completely incompetent? And like, it's my name and my reputation you're putting in jeopardy because you had a hunch that it was going to happen. And over the years, I've dealt with recruiters just like this. I've dealt with recruiters being crazy. I've the constant ghosting, and yeah, I've done it to a couple of recruiters, and I feel bad doing it, but there is so many times that you will be ghosted, or they will send you to stuff that you generally don't have the experience for, and they'll some cases they'll lie to you and tell you, "Hey, it's just for this," and when you go over there, it's not. I even had some companies that's posted jobs like that, and when you get to the interview, it's not that. They're like, "We need this," and you're just like, "But the job posting was this, and you reached out to me for this specific language." And they were like, "Yeah, but no." But yeah, like I said, or for you guys, you might want to just deal with recruiters. Don't put too much faith in them. Anytime that they send you any sort of criteria for a job posting, you want to make sure that you align your skill set to those jobs, and or even just get a reference sheet of like whatever jobs in your specific field. Learn as much as you can from those languages, those skill sets, and apply to them. Or you can go through recruiters because I've seen some people do them, but some people it's not a thing. Just make sure that you guys tailor whatever you're trying to pursue to whatever abilities that you're learning. It just makes it a lot easier in the long run, I should say. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna post this on all the major platforms. So right now we're on Anchor and we're on YouTube. And if you guys leave comments or you guys want to follow me, make sure to follow my Twitter. It's Ghosts Music. Make sure to follow me on YouTube. Same username, Ghosts Music. Leave comments. Make sure to interact with me. Um, maybe we can get to the point where we can start doing Q&As, and I'll just do episodes answering Q&As, or even just do a section in the podcast called Q&A time. If you guys like it, make sure to let me know, or even hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.